YouTube, what's up? I'm just checking back in with y'all. A lot of people have been asking me for a loadboard video. I used to do a lot of it with JB Hunt because JB Hunt they really didn't care. But Mercer's a little different, so it's going to be not as informative because I can't show you, I can't click on a loader and show you the details. Basically, the only thing I can show you is what you see right here on the screen. So I'm gonna just go over that real quick with y'all. Right now I'm in Alabama doing my 34. I got delivery on Monday in Maryland. So right now this is set up for a 300-mile radius from where I'm dropping off at. And I deliver on Monday, so I didn't really change the date, but this is what their load board looks like. So you have your order number, your agent, you have your original state, origin miles, destination, pickup date. Like on the first line, you have to pick up on the 15th. The one coming from Bedford, you can pick up from the 16th all the way to the 18th. Then you got your pay, your miles, your cent per mile. This is the other line is what you would get paid after deadhead. This is the weight. Now usually when you see it rounded off with 3 zeros at the end of it, it's usually that weight or lower. 9 times out of 10 is usually lower than that number. It may not be by much, so they're basically just giving an estimate. Then you have a line, see if it's a twit card, if it's a team load. I had an LTL column in there, but I took it out because I already don't care if it's a LTL load or not. Usually they don't pay as well, so I'd rather it don't really bother me too much to see it or not to see it. So yeah, this is 300 miles from Gaithersburg, Maryland. These little Old Bridge to Apopka, Florida, I don't know if they're going to move those or not because those it's real weird. You pick up in Old Bridge and you drop off at the stage equipment. You drop off Connecticut the same day, and then there's a 3-day gap before you go back, pick up the stuff from Connecticut and take it down to Florida. That's basically a week. For $34.25, that's not enough for you to tie up a whole week. So, I mean, I've seen them on the board before. I'm assuming people took them. I'm just not one of those people. So, but the red dots are the loads that were matched to me. At first, when they come up, they're blue. If you reject it or refuse it, it highlights in red. If you accept it, it highlights in green. Now, if you accept it and there's people in front of you, it will turn yellow. And you have to wait for those people that's in front of you. That's that first in, first out stuff. You have to wait for those people that's in front of you to either say yes or no if they want to load or not. If all those people say no, it will go back from yellow to green. So we got some Baltimore to Texas's. I probably would have did that Baltimore to Texas on the 20th, but my son's birthday is on Friday, so my next week is kind of limited on where I can go because I don't want to go too far and be stuck out and I can't make it back. So that load doesn't leave to the 20th to the 21st. So taking that is not really an option. You got Delaware to Indiana, that's not paying nothing. That's only $1.71 a mile, and that's 46,500 pounds. Yeah, they keep that one. Like, flatbed rates, for the most part, aren't bad, but you got your bad apples in there. There's a lot of bad apples in there. Like that one's from the Morgantown of Portland, Oregon. Is $1.95. See, I don't know how well you're gonna see this because I'm actually screen recording this on my iPad. So I know once I edit this and put it up, I think it gets smaller. So let me do that just in case y'all can't really see it. And I'm gonna go real slow. I'll slide it over this way. So y'all can see what's going on there. Alright. Come on. It doesn't want to cooperate. It don't want to cooperate. So I'm gonna figure out a way to filter that. Figure out a way to fix that. So I'm gonna do a couple states, 300-mile radius, so I'm gonna try to cover, I guess, the major areas. So right now it's Gatesburg, Maryland. That's 300 miles, so you get PA, New Jersey, Delaware. So let me change that. Let's come out of Maryland. Oh, it's another popular area. Let's do the Midwest. So we'll do Indiana. We'll do Indianapolis. 300-mile radius. And as you can tell, the Midwest has a lot more loads than the Northeast. You got a lot more options, because this should cover, it should cover Chicago too. So, and unfortunately, I can't highlight any of this stuff because I'm on my iPad, so I can't click and point at stuff, but y'all kind of see what's going on. Midwest is great for Mercer. That's mainly where a lot of their high-paying freight is at, and mainly where all their freight is at. Once you get past I-35, as everybody say, like, you know, Colorado and stuff, and you start heading west that way, it really thins out. And you have that's where you run into a bigger problem with not finding freight and sitting for a very long time. Like, when I went to California, I was lucky to get out of there in a day, only because all the trucks that were sitting in front of me couldn't get to that load that day. That load had to be picked up that day by 12 o'clock, and it had to be in Texas at a certain day. So you had to pick up by 12 p.m. I was only like maybe 70 miles away. So I was out of 11 drivers that were sitting in California, I was like number 7 on the list, and I was the closest one to the load, so they actually didn't have a choice but to give it to me. But if there was somebody else closer or in the same area, yeah, I'd probably have been sitting there for a week. The only thing about California is you can, once you go in, if you don't leave that West Coast, like California, I think it's Washington, Oregon, so like that West Coast, those states up there, if you don't leave those states, if you just run up and down that coast up there, you actually keep your place in line. So you could run stuff California to California, California to Washington, stuff like that, and work your way up the line so you can get a load out. So a lot of guys do that. But I'm not doing it. So, but these are your Midwest loads. As I zoom in just in case y'all guys can't really see it. So I'm gonna try to go a little slow. I'm trying to see if I can get everything in one shot. The city, state, the pickup day, the pay, and the mileage. And the deadhead miles and the weight. So, as you can tell, you can still make a lot of money whether you got a flatbed or a step deck, because a lot of these say flat or drop. You got a couple of these up there that just say flat, so they want a flatbed only. Some of those most of the time when it's flat only, it's probably a place that has roofing materials, and you have to back up to a dock, and they have to drive onto your trailer, and they can't do that with a step deck because it sits so low. So usually roofing materials aren't for step deck trailers, unless it depends on the location. Like if you go to, there's a place in Mount Joy, sometimes they will drive it outside and put it on your trailer, but you know that's not most places. Most places want you to have a flatbed if you're doing roofing materials. And then you got some of those that's just for step deck. So, alright, where did I leave off at? Alright, so we're at Sturgeon, Wisconsin, so let's go there. And back up. So, like that's Wisconsin to California. And that ain't enough. That's only $2.09 a mile, and after deadhead it's $1.86. I mean, it's only 15,000 pounds, but still. What else you got? Yeah, there you go. You got some tech. Go to Chicago to Hagerstown, Maryland. $3.01 a mile. We'll put that at the top. After mile, after deadhead is $2.34. 40,000 pounds. So I want to say that's probably some steel. There's a lot of steel that comes out of Chicago. But what I've seen a lot is the less the miles, like this right here, Kentucky to Indianapolis on 151 miles, that's when the rate starts to jump. So a lot of guys, they will do a lot of their short stuff. Like you could probably fit in 2 loads doing that. You could pick this up first thing in the morning, drop that off, and as long as you can get it off your trailer at a relatively good time, you could pick right back up and you could pick something else up and go right back on your business. Like you could drop here, and what else picks up on the 19th? That's close. Nothing really. Because most flatbed loads it's going to take I mean, you could try to do 2 loads in a day, but sometimes it's just not possible. Because some places, they stop loading at 2 o'clock and stuff like that, so you're mainly going to get one. Some places you'd be lucky if you could pick up the same day, and it'll be like 151 miles, but you probably can't deliver to the next morning. So that right there is just not worth it, because it's like, now you're only making that $500 and something a day. So a lot of places like that. A lot of orders are like that. I forgot to slide over this way. Yeah, there's a lot of flat drop or just flat only. But you can still make a decent amount of money running a step deck if you had a step deck. This one actually says hazmat in it. That's going where? Indiana, Madison Heights, Wisconsin. Oh, I know exactly where that's going. There's a load coming out of PA going to that same place. It's going to an airport. And that's why they're sitting there. Because I'm not trying to be stuck sitting in no airport with no hazmat load. Waiting all day for it to clear and for security and all this other stuff. Like, I ain't got time for all that. So, then you see a lot of loads where you see like 3 or 4. Now, when you see loads in the blue, like these, this is like Mercer's dedicated accounts. So these loads are already confirmed and ready to go. Like 9 times out of 10, you click on one of these loads, if you're at the top of the list or whatever, you're going to get that load. Now, these down here in the white aren't confirmed, aren't dedicated free. So these, like, from what I understand, they're not just on the Mercer board, they're somewhere else also. So you might click on one of these and it might already be gone. You'll call the agent like, oh, we got that covered already, we just forgot to take it down. So I've ran into that once or twice. But But you know, flatbed, you can make a decent rate. You can make pretty good money doing flatbed over here. All right, what else we got? That was Indiana. Let's do. A lot of people live in Texas. Let's try to do Texas. You want to do Dallas? That could be a little. That could be a central point. Dallas. And Texas is very big, so we're going to change this from 300 miles to 500 miles. Texas is huge. So, don't really pay the deadhead any mind, because we did a 500-mile radius. I'm just trying to cover as many states as possible, not draw the video out. So, don't really pay the deadhead any mind, because you might be close to one of these states, like Memphis, Tennessee. You might live in Tennessee, so you wouldn't have to worry about the deadhead. So if you're in Tennessee and want to go to Kansas City, you're getting $2.73 a mile. You wouldn't look at the $1.46. So Texas right now is I don't know. I don't know. Something about Texas I just don't like. Their rates are horrible. It's like going to Florida. Although this week doesn't seem that bad. Last week they were worse. Like most of them, 90. Let's see, there we go. $1.66, $66, $1.44, $1.75. I was seeing a lot of that last week. It was a nice load going down, but it's like going to Florida. You sacrifice coming out. Oh, those not some bad ones. Oh, I forgot. Never mind. That's Tennessee. So Houston, $1.66. Yeah, I can't do that. Fort Worth to California, $2.79 a mile. That's not bad. That's if you want to go to California, though. What else you got? Fort Worth to Florida. That's a military load because it says Air Force Base. That's paying $2.64 a mile. Flatter drop. Now, the military loads here, you have to pass. Some military loads, they want you to pass a 5-year background check. Some is 10, and some is forever. So, depending on what your situation is, you might be able to do some military loads. You might not be able to do any military loads. So, all depends on your situation. Like if I was stuck in Texas wanting to get back home, like Tyler, Texas, or South Plainfield for $1.95, I just won't be going back home. I'll be finding something else because $1.95 is just not it. For 43,000 pounds, yeah, that's just not it. But yeah, let me try to, in case y'all can't see it, in case it's too small. Let's try, let's do down there in Florida. Some of you guys like to go down south. But we should also be able to cover, let's do Orlando. So if I do Orlando, that should be able to cover the whole of Florida and some of Georgia. And then we can do, I guess, a little further up the East Coast. Panama City to Indiana. There's a lot of them on here. They're definitely not air conditioners. Not for that weight. That must be something else. Because Panama City is good for air conditioner loads. But not at 39,000 pounds. So that must be something else. Because usually air conditioner loads are lighter. So, this is your Florida stuff. As you can see, there's not much over $2 a mile coming out of Florida, because most of these first top ones are Georgia. So you got Tampa going to Houston, $2.14 a mile. Because if you really needed to get out of Florida, I guess that ain't bad. You can still make a little profit over there. Now, mind you, these rates that you're seeing, and the pay is after Mercer takes their 25%. So this right here is all yours. Mercer doesn't take any cut after this. This is after Mercer's cut. So the only thing you're taking out of this is fuel and whatever little weekly deductions you have with Mercer, which would be like your truck insurance, your ELD, and stuff like that. So just people didn't know. This pay you see is what you get. That 25% is already taken out. Miami to California, yeah, that's not going to work. They've been sitting on the board a while too. They keep changing the date. That's just not enough. Now those Alabama to Texas aren't bad. 602 mile, $3.55 a mile, 17,000 pounds. Oh, never mind. They do have some RGN loads, as you can see right here. I don't know if I'm gonna put it at the top, but I can't. Oh, I'll put it at the bottom. All the way at the bottom. You see where it says double drop? Those are their RGN loads. And as you can tell, it's not paying much. It's only $3.55 a mile. So, but they do have some of those. They do have step deck 53 loads. That's all the way at the bottom. If you wanted to have a step deck that's 53 foot, you have some loads that's just dedicated to that. Not many. Let me see if I can. They have some kind of Stoker loads on here. Not many. So, all right. That covers what? Georgia, Florida. What else did it cover? Some South Carolina. Okay, let me do Tennessee. Although Tennessee should cover some of the states that we already saw, but Tennessee has some good freight coming out of there too. Tennessee will do Nashville. Why are you not auto-populating? Come on. Look, with this load, with the way to work with loadboard, there you go. If you type in the first three letters, you have to actually wait for it to populate, or it won't work. Like you have to wait for it to basically find the states itself, or it won't work. So, all right. So Tennessee, you get some of the stuff is the states you already saw, and some are new. But got Memphis to Indiana. Matter of fact, we saw Tennessee when I did Indiana. So yeah, so most of the stuff we already saw. Never mind. My bad. All right, hold on. I did 500 mile with Texas. I did the Northeast. We didn't see the North Carolina, so I could do North Carolina. We'll do Charlotte. I could drop that back down to 300 miles. And this is what we got. Not much. Yeah, that's it. It's not much in there. Not much in there. Yep, that's it. What am I missing? And I guess just the West Coast, I guess. So let's go over to California. What'll be a good midway point? Let's do San Francisco. We'll do 500 miles. Francisco, 500 miles. Alright, so it goes up to Oregon. I don't know if it does Washington over here. I think Washington is more miles, but y'all kind of get the hang. It's not much over on the California side either. But you do see there's a lot of California on here, and these the loads you can run throughout the week till you get to the top of the list. So you have like, and there's a lot of us military loads. Camp Pendleton. Now this Long Beach to Tampa, 231 a mile. That ain't like 25,000 pounds. Oh, never mind. Gotta have a step deck. Step deck only load. I hate that. I was looking at the load board and I'm like, oh, that's a nice load. Now I'll scroll over and say step deck only, and I'll just be like, because Mercer doesn't offer step decks anymore. I don't know why. I wish they would, but they don't. They only do regular flatbeds now. So if you want a step deck, you gotta buy your own. So yeah, right now people want to arm their leg for step decks, but you can make pretty. I mean, stay in California like this one, California right here. Nice 99 miles. You know, 868. It's not a little bad little load. Just to try to move up the list. More California here. 607, but that ain't paying as much as the other one. Fremont to DC. I don't exactly know what that is. Maybe somebody else knows. $4 a mile. That's not bad. I don't know what DC is. That must be Canada or something. I don't know. I'm at to look at the map. I don't know what that is. But yeah. I mean, if you want to run California, there's a lot of Californians on there that don't pay bad. So that's all flatbed. Let's jump over to van, and we can wrap this video up. So we'll just leave that the way it is. Take out that and just hit van, and you can see some van rates. These are van rates. I don't come over here too often, or at all, because I don't run van. So, but these are the van rates for you van guys that's thinking about coming over. I should have did that in the beginning when I did the states. I should have just switched over. So now I gotta remember. Now I gotta go back and remember what states I did in radius and do van again. But these are your van rates. You got some rates that's over $2 a mile. Not many. Most of them average. I think the average right now for Mercer's van is $1.75. That's what I think it is. I mean, you are gonna find some loads that's gonna pay you, $2-3 a mile, but it's not as much as you would find if you were doing flatbed. Because another thing about dry van too, like I said earlier, the less the miles are, the higher the rate. So you could just make a killing just doing little small stuff here and there. Dry van's a little easier. You might be able to get 2 loads in a day because they're basically dropping hooks. So you might be able to do that and get away with it. I had to sit there, get live unloaded and live loaded all the time. So they want to go to Sparks, Nevada to Reno, Nevada. 3 miles, $257. Who wants it? There it is, right at the top of the page. $3. Take that $250. And we'll drop that in the slot machine or something. We'll play some poker real quick. Maybe you might double your money. Alright, let's go back to start back to where I was. Hold on. Let's start back up in the northeast and work our way back down again. Philly. We could drop this down to 300 miles. We don't need to keep 500 miles on there. Alright. Now these are the van rates in the northeast. Check the loadboard over here too. Oh, hold on. What are these dates for? 19? Hold on, fellas. Give me 1 second. Gotta go back to something. Some new loads popped up. Alright, these leave on the 19th. Carlisle to Georgia, 250, 43,000 pounds. That's that Tuesday. Carlisle to Tennessee. Nashville, Carlisle to Texas. These on the 19th, and Carlisle to North Carolina. Now I can't show you, I can't click on it, but I could click on it on my other computer, and god damn it, they all hazmat loads. Oh, it's roofing materials. All those Carlisle loads are roofing materials. And are they all hazmat? Hazmat. So the one going to Savannah is hazmat, Tennessee is hazmat, Houston hazmat. I mean, I have my hazmat. I just don't like hauling hazmat a lot, just because of the route, some of the routes you got to take and stuff. It'd be a real pain in the butt. But I mean, you know, well, at least they don't got to be tarked. Yeah, so all these Carlisle loads are all hazmat loads. There's some down here too. Carlisle to Roanoke. Carlisle to Hyattsville. I would take that if I was home. The 19th. Hyattsville, man, because that's a day load right there. And Carlisle to Fayetteville, North Carolina. Because I could do that Hyattsville, go to pick it up, deliver it, and go right back home. I drop on the 18th. I'm trying to find something I could pick up the same day, but I'm just not seeing anything for Monday yet. So I might just have to take one of these Tuesday loads, drop, and just deadhead to Carlisle. So that's the 19th. If that's the case, I might as well just, or if this was the opposite, Hyattsville to Carlisle, that'd be perfect. But it's not. Alright, I figured it out. Those ain't going nowhere yet. Go back to y'all van guys. Alright. One thing about hazmat loads, they don't jump off the board too quick. They're gonna be there for a while. They're gonna be there for a while. But hazmat is not required, but TWIC is. They do require to get your TWIC card when you come to Mercer. But yeah, these are you van guys here. Back the van. See, like, been sailing in Orlando, Florida for $1,700. Like, I don't know. I just can't see myself doing it. $1.70. How much does that weigh? 27,000 pounds. So you figure, what was that, 12,000 miles, depending on your truck. You probably get 7 miles to the gallon. You need about 130 gallons, maybe 140. Let's just do some math. Like 145 gallons. So 145 gallons, mind you, coming out of the northeast. So diesel up there now with the discount is $423. So 145. So we spent about $700 on $613.35. So you round that up to about $620 on diesel. So you'll make about $1,100. 2 days. About $550 a day. I mean, you still you're still making money. Put it that way. You're still making money. You're not losing anything. But, and one thing I would express to a lot of people that's coming to Mercer and they see race and they hear guys is doing good and stuff like that, there's a high percentage of Mercer drivers, their trucks are paid off. Their trucks are paid off, their trailers are paid off. Some of them have those like big trucks that got the 186-inch sleepers. They barely have any overhead. So when they say they can make it work, they can. Because they don't have a high overhead. So, but yeah, at Mercer, a lot of the guys' trucks are paid off. So they could sit back, like they might run one load a week. They would just sit back and just wait for that big load to pop up and just take it. And that's what that first in, first out is. They don't even have to look at the load board. They can just sit back at home with their feet up or whatever state they in, sit back watching TV, pop a beer, they sleep all day and wait for they coordinator to call them and say, oh look, there's a $7,000 load going from so and so to so and so. You've been empty the longest because you've been sitting all week waiting for a big load, and there you go. And somebody like me that likes to run will see the $7,000 load to try to make me make it a $14,000 a week or something like that. Ain't got no shot in hell in getting that load because the person that's been sitting all week twiddling their thumbs, excuse my French, gets dibs on a load. So it is what it is. I've come to accept it. So I just stay out of areas that a lot of guys like to sit in. And there's some areas that guys like to sit in where there's enough freight where you won't have that problem, like Kentucky. There's a lot of Mercer drivers that would just sit at that terminal all week waiting for a load. But there's a lot of freight coming out of that area because it's the Midwest. So you don't have to worry about really the first in, first out rule because there's just so much freight coming in and out that it won't affect you too much. Now you try doing that crap in Florida or California or anything west of Colorado and that big load comes up, then you might have a problem. So man, it's a lot of freight for y'all van guys. Holy crap, still scrolling? Alright, that's it. Okay. One thing Van does have, they do got a lot of free for y'all guys. Alright, what else we got? Alright, that was the Northeast. We could work our way down to, I guess we'll work our way down to Florida. Try to cover Florida. And I'll just up the radius. We'll do Orlando. Oh, my bad. We'll do Orlando. And we'll do 500 miles. I don't know if y'all can hear that background noise, but I got the windows open and there's a lot of trucks going back and forth, so I apologize. And then the truck just started because it's charging. I had to op the idle on and it's charging the batteries back up. So the truck is running currently. Texas. That Texas to Missouri load ain't bad. 1,500 miles, 1,500 for 500 miles. That ain't bad. 3,370 miles. See, now they got better rates for van in Texas than they do freaking flatbed. Oh, no, maybe not. Never mind. I'm sorry. Never mind. As I scroll down, that changes very quickly. But unlike flatbed for the van, you have a lot more options on. You have a better option on states and cities to go to. Like that, they just have more free. Like you have a better chance of getting home, I should say, depending on where you live, versus flatbed. Flatbed will get you in that state. It may not get you in that city, but it'll definitely get you close to that state. I'm at a dead end a little bit, but like when I'm going home, 9 times out of 10, I'm either delivering in Maryland or Jersey. There's not too many deliveries in like the Philly area per se. So I'm either delivering in Jersey or Maryland or something like that. I very rarely deliver in Philadelphia. These are the weights for those loads, some of the weights. Some of them are heavy. Most of them are pretty light though. Most of them are pretty light. Alright. Let's get over to, we did California already, so let's go to the Midwest. We'll do Kentucky. We'll do Louisville. Because that's where most of you guys are going to be coming out of when y'all coming out of orientation. You're coming out of Louisville. So this will give you an idea of where you're going to be deadheading to, or how far you're going to have to deadhead when you come out of orientation. That's Cincinnati to Orlando's not bad. $250 a mile, 918 miles, 2298. That ain't bad. Especially for a van. Got a Tennessee to Ohio, Indiana to South Carolina, ain't bad. Tennessee to Charlotte. I was actually thinking about leasing a dry van trailer for the winter, but then a lot of people was like, flatbed rates usually the freight is still decent in the winter. So I mean, usually winter time is usually supposed to be the slow side of a flatbed, but a lot of people have been telling me that's not really the case. They still get a decent amount of freight. You move a lot of roofing materials, and you've got to tarp a lot, but the freight is still, the freight's still there. My coordinator working overtime. He denied all those loads. They all red. All those Carlisle loads I was looking at. He refused all of them. I might. 19. Georgia. Definitely don't want to go to Georgia though. Can't go to Texas because I ain't gonna make it back in time. I might take that Tennessee one though. 43,000 pounds. I might go to Tennessee and then come back up. Let's see what's coming out of Nashville. Let's see what's coming out of Nashville. Murfreesboro, Tennessee. What the hell is coming out of there? God damn. That's a lot. It's all the same day, too. Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Let's see. I can't show it to y'all, but I could tell y'all what it is. Hold on. Tennessee. No, I did Louisville. I can still do. I can do this directly. Murfreesboro. M-U-R. Let's see what we got coming out of there. It is. Where is it? Here we go. What we got? What we got? What we got? It is exhibition materials. Huh. It might be like a big show or something that might be closed out. Like a what am I thinking of? Like a convention center type show or something. And it might have closed out and need everything moved. Cause that's a lot coming out of one place. Don't even have an address in here for pickup. They literally got they got Mercer's address for the pickup. That's funny. Alright. Alright. Oh, Mount Joy gets deliveries? Damn, that's crazy. You should pick up from there. That's that van stuff. How much is that paying? 220 a mile. Okay, come out of Indiana. Right. You usually pick up out of Mount Joy. So that's the difference between van and flatbed. Where I pick up from, I would never deliver to it with flatbed, but van will go straight there. It's weird. So, all right. If y'all want to see a certain state, city, or something like that, just drop it in the comments, and I'll do it on the next video. Or if you need me to explain something. Oh, and I'll show y'all one other thing. If you just want to find a big money load, they got a section for that. It starts at the highest paying load at the top and works its way down. So you just go in there, looking for a big money load. You don't want to search a particular state. You just come in here and be like, all right, out of Laredo going to Vermont, $256 a mile, $6,100. I'm on my way. If you were close to Texas, picks up on Monday. So $6,100 for a week ain't bad. I mean, that's after Mercer's cut. So, I mean, some people like driving cross country. There's Long Beach load. It actually tells you need a Twic car for that. They got some team loads in there too. And you need that's a Twic load and a team load. Going from Long Beach, California to Tampa, Florida, paying $231 a mile. No, because it's a team load. So you basically got to cut that money in half. You're not making any money. I need a Twic and a team, and you only want to pay me $231 a mile? Yeah, okay. There's another team load down here, going from Washington to North Carolina. Only paying $222 a mile. It's a team, right? You know. Granted, most of the teams at Mercer are probably husband and wife or something like that, but still, you know. But these are your big money loads. Just because say big money loadboard doesn't mean it's actually you're actually gonna make big money. That's just as you can tell, some of the rate per mile is just crazy. It's just got a lot of miles under its belt. Like this Morgantown P to Oregon, paying $1.95 a mile. So it's only on here because anything over $3,500 makes it on this board. Because if you go all the way down to the bottom, that's what you see, $3,513. So it's $3,500 and up makes it to the big money board. So usually find a lot of like this XDX flat. That's step deck. That's like a step deck load. You usually find a lot of RGN loads and stuff in here, but got some Conestoga loads in here. 53 flat loads, 53 flat, 53 flat. So, but yeah. So, well, in case y'all can't see it, hold on. Zooming in a little bit. So, okay. Go over there. Go over there. There you go. So you see them California loads on there coming from Miami that we saw earlier. That's only because they're paying over $3,500. Let's see, the highest rate per mile on here is, let's see, was that 287? $4. Might be that $4 load. Yep, that's what we saw earlier. $4 coming from Fremont, California to Surrey, BC. Okay, you know what? I'm curious. Let's go to Google Maps. Surrey, BC is in British Columbia. It's Canada. Okay. So for all y'all guys that want to go to Canada, going to Canada. That's a lot of money. That's a nice chunk of change going to Canada. Okay. All right. So, but like I said, if y'all guys got any special requests or anything for states and city, just drop it in the comments, and I'm going there on my next video. So, thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And see y'all later.